Well, the whole process has been very exciting. I would have to say it started with the clarinet concerto, which was performed beautifully by Michael Rusinek in 2008. Alan Fletcher wrote a beautiful piece for him. I think because of the success of the beautiful concerto, Maestro Honeck then suggested that we meaning the PSO, commission a bassoon concerto, which of course was met by me. I was very excited. The first thing I did when I met with Alan about this was I brought him bassoon pieces that I liked, one of them being the Zwilit Concerto, which the PSO commissioned in the early 90s. I brought him extended bassoon solos from symphonies, specifically Shostakovich symphonies that have beautiful long bassoon solos in them. We discussed range. How high can the bassoon go? There is a limit to the low register. Of course, the high register, in my mind, the limit was a little bit lower than Mr. Fletcher's. Also, we talked a lot about articulation. Of course, one of my priorities was to have a piece that other bassoonists would want to play. I didn't want it to be too hard. I didn't want it to be too easy. So there was a little back and forth about that. Well, I think probably one of the things that comes to mind immediately is in fact what I asked for, long, beautiful lines. Even though that might seem to the listener as something that's a little easier, there aren't as many notes, but it made me think about how I'm going to achieve this, and one of the things was to increase my upper body strength, so to speak. I needed to have a little bit more air capacity for this concerto, so I started quite a shall I say, intense regimen of exercise and diet just to make sure that I could hold the bassoon and play long lines comfortably. I think the answer is twofold. It definitely has a connection with the clarinet concerto and therefore that type of lyrical style, but it definitely has an aspect of, this is definitely Alan Fletcher. So I think he has taken his own style and incorporated some of that type of Barber-esque style and made it contemporary. And that's a little difficult to define. It doesn't sound like a concerto that was written in the mid-20th century. It definitely sounds like something contemporary, and I think that's what makes the piece very special, because that's not easy to do. I think it will be very different from my imagined hearing. I have played it with the composer, playing the piano reduction of the orchestra score, and that is almost impossible to do, actually, for any pianist to play an entire orchestra part. Plus, it will just be entirely different. It's something that maybe I have a little bit of fear, not because I'm afraid it won't be good, but because I know it will be very different than I imagine, and that's what makes it actually very exciting to be a part of that. I'm just so happy to be part of the birth of this new concerto. Alan Fletcher has been my friend for many years. I have enjoyed the collaboration very much. My hope is that bassoon players will be playing this piece for generations.